If you're looking to utilize PropStream for your real estate workflow, but you're not really sure where to start, well, luckily for you, you're watching the right video. Hey y'all, my name's Ari, and this is the ultimate guide to getting started with PropStream. In just a few moments, I'm going to be going over key features I think you should know about, whether you're new to PropStream or a longtime user. So, let's get into it. So whenever you first log into your account, folks, you're going to see this pop-up up here. This is our PropStream updates. Kind of think of it as our newsletter, where you're going to be able to see live events, information about any updates on the software or our free educational platform, the PropStream Academy, or even promotions or other events that we're hosting. So if you want to take advantage of those events, those promotions, those free courses, definitely take a look at this. That way you don't miss out on any of those opportunities. And then once you're done, you can just click close and whoosh, that'll take it off your screen. And then once you remove the updates, you can now see the map of the United States. This is because we do host nationwide data. So what that means for y'all is that you're able to either, search for leads locally or in your own state. But if you ever want to scale up or out, you are able to do so in all 50 states. And so with this map, folks, this is actually our first page here, our first tab here in the navigation bar. As you can see on the left-hand side, we're in that search tab. So if you're ever lost, folks, I recommend always coming to the navigation bar. That way you can see where you are and where you're gonna want to go next. But let's get started here, because I think this is a really good place to set up the foundation of your workflow, right? Because more often than not, we're trying to find leads first. So here, this is exactly where you want to get started. In the search bar up at the top, you can actually search for 5 different types of markets. That way you can go into the area of your interest. So the first type is going to be a city search. Type in your city, state abbreviation, and you're good to go. Or you can also do a county search, and that'll pull up the county of your interest with the property results in the parameters of that county, just like it did with the city. And then we have a double whammy here with number 3 and 4 of types of market search, because they both have to do with zip codes. But the first one, you can do a singular zip code search. So you would put it in the search bar, it'll pull that area up for you, and of course the results. Whereas the multiple zip code search, you can search up to 5 zip codes at a time, and that way you can pull up your results in each zip code that you're interested in. And the 5th and final market search you can conduct here, folks, is actually by utilizing the draw tool here in the upper left-hand corner. So here, once you click on that, you do have 3 different ways you can conduct that draw tool search, either freeform, rectangular, or circular searches. So just to show you an example, I'm going to do a freeform. I'm just going to draw a silly shape right here. And once you draw that shape, you can search up to 5,000 square feet miles, and that's going to provide those results here inside that fence that you just built, right? That way you can see those leads, those searches that you're doing, and you're able to see what's going on in that market. And speaking about wanting to know what's going on in a market, if you ever do a city search or a singular zip code search, if you notice down here, folks, you're going to have the statistics page for that. You can open it up by clicking on the upwards arrow, and this is going to give you the ability to look at the stats and trends of the market in there. This is going to be a really great way to analyze the market of your interest, and it's a really great segue to your property analysis that you're going to want to do for those leads in that market, right? So you can definitely check out the stats and trends here, and you can even print it out with this print icon here in the top right-hand corner. And then once you're done viewing those stats and trends, you can click on the downward arrow and that'll open up the map for you once more. What I also want to highlight is that you can also use these boxes at the top of the map. This is going to be what we call our can searches. Kind of think of them as singular filter searches that you can do, right? Just kind of giving you a glimpse at different markets that you could look into in this area of your interest. So, for example, bank owned, vacant, or even auctions, right? You're more than welcome to use those, but we do understand that everyone has different needs. So we always recommend to niche down. That way you can find the leads that you're looking for and is going to help your business thrive. So what you can do is utilize our filter menu. You're going to go to the filters button up here at the top near the search bar. That's going to open up our filter menu. We have over 165 filters for y'all to utilize. So this is going to really assist you in making sure that that market of your interest is going to go down in size to leads and opportunities that can actually lead to success, to close contracts or close deals, right? So here, what we recommend is just inputting the situation you're looking for, whether it's about the homeowner and or the property. So here, I'm just going to take you through our different categories. That way you can get familiar with them, with the first one being our lead lists. Kind of think of these as, like the old timey list that you would have to go to the county for, right? Here we made sure it was our hot top 20 markets. So we want to make it convenient for y'all and place it here first in the filter menu. So as you can see, we can choose these as kind of like our foundation for our search. And once you decide on the lead list you want to use, you can then go to the other categories and essentially list stack. And list stacking is whenever you're creating a situation on top of another situation, because most leads are in complex situations, or we need them to be in those multifaceted situations, right? Whether it's them having financial distress or property condition being a certain type, etc., etc., right? So let's go through these categories. The next one's going to be property details. You can really specify here the property characteristics of the subject property you're looking for. Here we do have residential property data, but as you can see, for anyone who's interested in commercial or vacant properties or even other, you're more than welcome to look into these filters, check out the property types, and that way you can go in and really specify that property you're looking for. So with property details, it kind of segues to our PropStream Intelligence category. This is going to be having our AI learning algorithm go in and do some work for you. That way you don't have to. And what I mean by that is that you're having the system look at MLS photos of the properties. So that way, instead of you having to spend so much time looking at different photos for multiple leads, you're just having the system filter it out for you point blank. So maybe if you're a buy and holder, you're looking for a rental property, maybe you want to have a turnkey or rent ready home. So here we can utilize that too. Whereas for anyone who wants to look into leads that are potentially going into default in the next 12 months, definitely check out the foreclosure factor. This is where you can specify the likelihood of that property owner going into default in the next 12 months. Next up, we have our MLS category. I would say this is a fan favorite here because if for any of you that might not know, this is where our MLS data really shines. Our database is compiled of both MLS data and public record data. So as you can see here with this first filter, you are more than welcome to search for opportunities that are on the market or off the market as well. So because we have that property data that's from the county, you can look for off-market opportunities. And then with our MLS data, you are able to look for on-market opportunities as well. And then we have our pre-foreclosure and bank-owned. This is really great if you're looking for any leads that include or have any pre-foreclosure types. Now with our owner info and occupancy category, this is going to be more so of trying to look for a particular owner or a particular owner situation. As you can see, if whether or not the property is occupied by the owner or if it's completely vacant. You can even specify the owner type that you want to work with. Even our absentee owner lists, you can definitely check that out here with our filter. And then another fan favorite is number of properties owned. If you're ever looking for an investor or cash buyers, that's a fan favorite here with number of properties owned. And then we have our lien and bankruptcy and divorce category, kind of similar to the pre-foreclosure one, right? You're going to be able to include or exclude lien types, bankruptcy types, and if you want to include divorce leads or not. Here with our value and equity category, this is going to be great if you want to look into estimated value or the homeowner situation in terms of their equity, right? You can utilize equity dollar amount or estimated equity percentage. This is another fan favorite here where you can really go in and specify who you want to work with while you're able to utilize other filters regarding what they're going through and or what the property is like. Last but not least, we have our mortgage category. This is going to be really great to utilize if you're wanting to reach out to leads that have specific amount of mortgages or remaining balance. You can even specify the loan type that they have, even the interest rate percentage right here, or rate type. So once you go through the categories, folks, you can then check out the filters you're using by clicking on Show All Applied Filters here at the bottom. This is going to showcase all the filters you're currently having on your search, where you can edit them if need be, or if you just want to take it off, you can do that here as well. Once you're content with the filters you're using, you can then go to this orange button at the top of the filter menu, click on View X amount of properties, and that's going to showcase your results here on the lovely map, as well as on the right-hand side with the results list. And here, I just want to take a moment to explain a few other features in the search page because it's not just values that you're seeing of properties. If you are able to go and zoom in, you can go and look around in that area of your interest, right? And once you click on a value of a subject property you're interested in, on the map, this is our map cards. Kind of think of this as basic information of the property. And then similarly, you can also check out the results card. So this is going to be where you can see other basic information of the property, right? Where you can see bed and bath as well as the estimated value. If you see here, when it says estimated value, folks, that means that property is currently off market. If you ever see that it states listed value, that means it's currently on market. And here too, with the map card, you can click on nearby. That's going to open up any nearby listings, such as like neighbors, MLS, pre-foreclosure, and bank owned. So if you're interested in looking at those types of nearby listings, you're more than welcome to check out the nearby button. And then here, I'm sure you're thinking, well, Ari, what do you mean details? There's already details here. Well, my friends, if you click on details, this is actually going to open up what we call the property details page. So whenever you open up the property details page, folks, this is going to showcase all the nitty-gritty details regarding the subject property. Because again, we have that MLS data here if applicable and the public record data. So here we have 4 different cards at the top. Again, kind of giving you snapshot views, but a little bit more information now. Here you're going to be able to see more info about the owner, about the characteristics. You're going to be able to see the estimated value as well as last year's and as far back as 5 years. That way you can see the trend here with this graph. And then with mortgage and debt, this is going to showcase the homeowner's financial situation, right? Where if they have any open mortgages, any involuntary liens, and as well as the last sale situation, as well as the document type for that, which you can purchase for only $5 if you're wanting to see more information about that transaction. But we'll get more into that in just a bit with these tabs down here, because that's something else you can do here in the details page. Lastly, with our opportunity card, this is going to be where you can check out more of that homeowner situation, right? Where you can see their equity as well as their monthly rent if that's something that you're interested in doing, as well as comps at a glance. That's going to be really great for, future conversations. And we do have a comping tool within the property details page, but we'll showcase that in just a bit. You're also able to see the estimated wholesale price. So for any of my wholesalers out there, if you want to take a look at what that number would be like, this estimated wholesale price is actually the estimated value minus 30%. So we're doing that 70-30 rule already calculated for you. And then here in the middle, you're going to see the PropStream Intelligence bar. So this is going to be where you can see that property condition that we were talking about earlier in the filter menu, right? Here you'll be able to see total condition along with the subcategories. And for anyone interested in the foreclosure factor, right, that likelihood of them going into default in the next 12 months, you can see that here as well. And if you ever want to know how to interpret this data, you can check out the Intelligence tab. This is where you can look at how to interpret this data. Click on Expand. And this is where you're going to be able to read into what particular categories mean for the condition as well as the foreclosure factor. But here, let's start with property details. Here, you're going to be able to see owner information as well as those finite details of property characteristics and any tax assessment information, HOA info, and any last arm's length sales info or non-arm's length info if applicable. Here we have our first if applicable tab. This is going to be where you're going to see any MLS data. So first up, you're going to see the most current or last listing that it has. Here, you're going to see all that info of the listing, such as the information about the features, the utilities, and even the agent information. So let's say if you want to reach out to the agent, learn more about the property, or if it's listed, you can even set up an appointment, right? And then here with the listing history, it's going to showcase what's been going on for this particular property in the market. Definitely check this out if you're interested in MLS data. Then we have our comping tool here with the comparables and nearby listings. You're going to be able to specify which data set you want to use or even make it a more niche search regarding the comps that you want to check out. So definitely come in and utilize these filters as you see fit. That way you can make a more rigid search for your comps. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see those results and be able to look at that information left to right regarding the characteristics and sales situation of the property. We also recommend taking a look at the button actions and then view comp report, because with that, folks, you're gonna get a easy to read and completely free PDF file. And with that PDF file, what it's going to show you a property details page as well as map of the comps and a list of the comps here, and then as well as a different list of the comps, and it's going to be color coded actually. So blue will be for MLS comps while green stands for public record comps. So again, this comp report completely free, easy to follow, right? And you can share it, whether it's with your assistant, your partner, or hey, maybe even the homeowner, right? Whenever you start discussing offers or the situation at hand, this is definitely something that you could utilize for that conversation. Here we also have our demographics tab. This is going to be 8 different data sets that essentially help you see the picture of the market, of what that area surrounding the subject property looks like. So you can actually specify if you want to go in a very rigid search of 1/4 of a mile of the property, or even up to 10 miles within that city it's in. So once you choose the radius, you can then look at the demographic sets here. You could take a look at population by age group. That way you can see who are you most likely going to be working with generation-wise, and how that could help you brand better or even market better to those particular age groups, right? Or even household composition too. So definitely take a look at these, because this will help you through that market analysis and even just so the neighborhood analysis for that property. And then next to that one, we have our tax info tab. This is going to showcase the taxes that that current property owner is paying for, as well as what were the taxes in the past and the tax assessment amount for that property in the past and currently. And as you can see, the PropStream software actually goes in and calculates those differences for you. That way you don't have to. So if you just want to take a quick glance, You don't have to be doing those calculations because PropStream already did it for you. And then we have two more here. We got our mortgage and transaction history tab. This is going to showcase any current mortgage data that is applicable. So here we can check out the loan, lender name, and even estimated rate or loan type. So that's something that you can come in and check out here. And you can also check out any past transactions of the property. So that way you can see what's happened in the past, where it's been exchanged, and what year, what time, right? And like I was saying before, right, with the purchase document up here, you're going to be able to click on any PDF icons. And with that, if it's available, if you want to learn more about that particular situation, whether it's a transaction or a sale, you can go in and check that PDF out, pay only $5, and you'll be able to save that onto your laptop as a PDF file. You're going to be able to look at more information regarding that transaction and get a better feel of what's been going on for that property. And last but not least, we have our Documents and Reports tab. This is going to be another really great tab that when you are ready to purchase a particular property document, you can go in, purchase it for only $5, or for any of those who want an assessor's map, that's only $1.50 that you can purchase here. And here on the left-hand side, you can even add documents. So if there's any documents you want to have, regarding this situation or this homeowner, you can add those up here, maybe like a contract or other information that you want to keep here together. You're more than welcome to do that. And if you check out here, there's different analyses that you can check out. And this is actually all completely free that you can utilize once you're able to fill out the analysis wizard. And that's going to be available here at the top with this analysis button. Whenever you open that up, this is actually going to showcase an ROI calculator. You're more than welcome to fill out what applies to you in these different tabs. And then once you're finished, you're going to be able to check out those different analyses. Here you can check out rental analysis, rehab analysis. Maybe you're going to sell the property yourself. You can check out property sale and much more, as you can see here. So definitely take a look at the analysis button here at the top. And then once you're done, you can download these analyses for free here in the wizard or here in the Documents and Reports tab. And then while we're up here, folks, just want to explain real quickly what these different buttons mean. This tool button here is going to give you access to our different tools. Here we have a few good amount of calculators, with our rental ROI calculator being a really great tool to utilize if you're looking to analyze rental property investment returns. You can go in and fill out what applies to you, be able to put in your own variables, and even create different scenarios if you want to. And that way you can see the annual cash flow, the cash on cash ROI, or even if you just want to look at total return or total ROI, you can do that here. And what's great is that if you want to print out these results, these different scenarios that you're running, you can click on this print button up here. That's going to save as a PDF, and you'll have that on your laptop. That'll be able to be downloaded and printed out. And then same thing with our fix and flip analyzer. This is really great for anyone who's wanting to analyze the deal profitability of your rehab project. So this is including, purchase, holding, and the rehab and the sale itself. So here you can check out total profit, the ROI, and even the total costs, as well as the sale price. And then as you see here at the bottom, you'll be able to check out the cost stack, and that's going to include those different costs that we just talked about, as well as seeing that total profit for this subject property. So for any of my fix and flippers or those who do rehab projects, definitely come here to the fix and flip analyzer, and you can even utilize the rehab log to put in those rehab transactions. And at the end of the day, you can print these scenarios out too. That way you can have it as a PDF or straight up print it out, right? So those were our first two calculators here. We do also have a rehab calculator that's powered by Bluehammer, and that's going to give you estimate costs of your rehab project. So if you want to do a rehab project on this particular property, you're able to go in, utilize that rehab calculator, and it's going to give you an itemized line item report. That's going to give you not just estimated total of project costs regarding materials, but it's also going to include the cost of labor for it as well. The more details that you can put in the rehab calculator, the more accurate that line item report is going to be for you. And then anyone who might be interested in putting a ADU or, starting an ADU project on this property, you can utilize the ADU calculator. This is really nice and very intuitive. I really like this one because you just go ahead and click on what applies to your situation, right? You click on what you would want to do for that project. And then once you're done, you can see an estimated total. This is really great because with that estimated total, it's actually going off of material costs and labor costs regarding that zip code in particular. So here you'll be able to see the breakdown of that estimated total cost, and that way you can take a look at what might be something that you could play around with right here with these different variables. This is something that you can take a look at, see what's something that you can finesse, or talk to your own personal contractors and see what can be cheaper, what's going to be more expensive, right? Again, it is an estimated total, so it is based on that zip code average. So definitely want to take a look at that and reach out to other professionals regarding the project. Last but not least, our Loan Geek tool here. This is really awesome for anyone who might be coming into PropStream. You find, let's say the lead of your dreams, but you need some financing, you need some help to purchase it or to finance that project you want to do. We've partnered with Loan Geek, and that is where you can go in and be able to start applying for a loan regarding this particular subject property. And I say that because what it's going to do with the Loan Geek, it's actually going to read into our data that we have for that property and help you fill in that application. So whatever it's asking for regarding the property, it's going to fill in that information for you. And that way it's a more seamless, definitely less stressful process for you to obtain that financing. And next to tools, we have our status and tags button. This is really honestly one of my favorites here because kind of think of this as like a notepad. You're going to be able to put in property status. So let's say you offered the property owner a fair price. They were really excited about it and they accepted your offer. But you notice that there is some fire damage to the property. So you put a tag in there. Or if you want to add any of your own specific tags, you can click edit and then add tag. And that way you can put that in there for yourself. And then here, kind of think of this as like a little sticky note. Here you can put in any notes that you want to put regarding the property, the homeowner, conversations, whatever the case may be for the subject property. So let's say, after your offer was accepted, now let's say you have a meeting set up for next week on Monday. This is going to be really great. That way you can keep yourself updated. And if you have any team members, you can keep them updated too by clicking on Assign Team Member here. And that's going to be where you can have them check out that information for you. And so once you assign that team member, they'll be able to stay in the loop as well. But keep in mind, if you want to save the note here, definitely make sure that you save the property. You can either save the property here in the status and tag section, or you can also do that up here with the save button. So here I'm just going to save it to my all saved properties. And then once you do that, you're then going to be able to put in those statuses, right? And have that information for you and your team members. And so once you do that, you're going to have that information here in the details page. And just to finish up strong, we have that save button, but just like how we did right now in the tags and status, we were able to save that property in there as well. But just like how you saw that pop-up appear, where you're able to choose if you want to add it to an existing list or create a new one, you can do that with the save button as well. So with all this information that you're able to access here, in the property details page, it's all the information that's going to assist you in learning more about the property, right? The property owner. And it's great to be able to look at these different tabs and go through that information. But we do understand that analyzing and interpreting different property data, it takes time, right? And sometimes that can take up too much of your workflow. And that's why we have our PropStream Intelligence here to help. And this is through our assistant here with this purple icon. It says PropStream Intelligence, has that cute star just floating around here. If you click on that, it's going to be a chat that you can open up and again, have the software do the work for you, folks. Don't play the hard game, work smart, because here you're going to be able to see at first like a welcome message. It's going to showcase just basic characteristics or information regarding the property. But as you can see here, you can ask the assistant questions about the property data or have it go into the comping tool or other tools here in the details page. And so I asked it, what is the average comp value for this property? And here, instead of me having to go in and checking it out in the tab, right, and looking and, working with the filters, instead, it's producing that answer for me right here, right now. It's giving me the different metrics, right, as well as nearby sale highlights and key takeaways, which you're going to be able to see with your answers. So even if it's giving you intense answers that are, very detailed, sometimes very necessary, right? In the end, if you just want to hurry, you do have those key takeaways that you can read up on. That way you can know what's going on for the questions you asked, for the data that you're asking for. And if it's ever referring to a particular tool in the details page, you do have the option to open that tool up. As you can see here, for example, with the comparables tab. That way, if you want to look into it, you can click on that and it's going to take you to that comping tool. Definitely check out the assistant here. It's here to help, as it is in the name, quite literally, right? It's here to assist you. It's here to make your life easier and have you, put in less effort, less time into this. So that way you can focus on other things that are more important versus going into so many hours of property analysis, right? Which, again, it is important, but we definitely want to help maximize your time for your workflow. Let's say once you're done analyzing a potential lead, you go back, you're in your map view, right, at the search page. More than likely, you're ready to save your list, right? So let's save it. Here, once you're ready to go, you can either check mark the particular properties you want to save, or if you want to just go ahead and save all of your results, you can do so by bulk selecting at the top. Then you're going to click on actions and then save here. We're going to have that pop up again, right? Of saving a list this time versus just a single property. And you're going to be able to either save to a pre-existing list or add a new list. We can create one real quick. And once you name your list, here, you actually have the chance to skip trace right away if you want to. For those who may not know, skip tracing is the feature that helps you find contact information of homeowners, such as phone numbers and emails. So that way, once you're ready to rock and roll, you want to contact them, that's going to help you pave the way to make that contact, to build that rapport, right? So once you save your list, you can go to the navigation bar and let's go to My Properties, because that's where you're going to be able to locate that. Kind of think of the My Properties tab as your digital filing cabinet. This is going to be where you can locate your lead lists, and there's different sections regarding those lists. So if you see here, we have our favorites section. This is going to be for any marketing list that you import in, perhaps, which you can do with this blue button right here at the top, or any important lists that you want, right? Any lists that are of high importance, you can put them here as your favorites. Whereas marketing lists, this section is going to be for those particular property lists that you either import in or save in your account, just like how we did in the search page, right? You can also check out automated lists. This is going to be in regards to our Lead Automator that is going to help you automate your lists and have other benefits that we'll go over in just a bit. But for any lists that are updated through the Lead Automator, you're going to find them here in the automated list section. And then lastly, we do have our mobile list section. We do have a mobile app for the PropStream software. So we always highly recommend downloading the app if you're a PropStream user, whether you're on the trial or already subscribed, because it is completely free and it comes with your account. So definitely take advantage of it. You'll be able to utilize it for mobile benefits such as driving for dollars or mobile comping or even mobile postcards. So being able to utilize the PropStream software on the go, you're definitely going to want to check out the mobile app on your app store. But from here, let's go into the list that we just created. So once you open up your list, this is where you're going to be able to see all the lovely property data here. You can utilize the bar here at the bottom. That way you can go left and right and see all that lovely data. But if ever you need to edit this layout, let's say before you export out your list, you can always come here to the top right-hand corner and click on this gear icon. This is going to be where you can edit your layout and specify what data you want to show on your spreadsheet or data that you just don't want to have on your spreadsheet. So once you make your selections, make sure to save this layout, especially if you want to use it in the future. You can name it and specify what type of layout it is. And then once you do that, you can even set it as your default layout if you want. Just make sure to click apply and save. That way it saves those changes for you. Here as well, folks, I want to go through these different buttons you're going to be seeing at the top of your marketing list, because these are going to be really helpful for you to conduct different tasks that you may need to with your list. So here we have our import list button. That's going to be where you can download our template and be able to upload your marketing list here into the PropStream software. Then you'll also be able to export any particular properties. Just make sure to check mark the ones you want to export out and then click on export. That will save as a CSV file to your laptop, and that way you can share if need be with any partners or assistants. Next up, we have our action button. This is going to be where you can do different tasks such as add these properties to a favorite list, a marketing list, or even automated list. You can also rename the folder or even edit it. Here you can even delete it if need be, if you're ever clearing out your workspace and kind of want to make it more organized without having any of those old lists in the way. You can even manage contracts. That's going to showcase all of our contracts that we have available for you to utilize in your day-to-day workflow, such as the agreement to lease with option to purchase, and many more, as you can see here. You can even upload your own too if you want with this upload button at the bottom of this page. And we also have mailing labels if you ever want to send your own postcards or own letters in the mail. We do have labels for you to utilize. With Push to BatchDialer, you're going to want to make sure you skip trace beforehand. That way you can send these skip trace leads to your BatchDialer account. For anyone who isn't familiar with BatchDialer, it is an external software that's going to help you make higher volume calling, and that way with this integration, you'll be able to send these leads out with that contact information to your BatchDialer account, and then from there, you can start calling, start dialing, and be able to make those connections with them. So once you checkmark the properties you want to send out, you can click on Push to BatchDialer. And then here, a pop-up will appear where you can assign the particular campaign you want those leads to be sent to, as well as the phone type and the number of phone numbers you want per contact. You can potentially send up to 12 per contact, but we do recommend 3. And then here, lastly, you can decide if you want to have that DNC data to be included as well with the public DNC and your very own DNC. So once you do that, you can then click save. That'll send over. But in order to do that, folks, just make sure that once you have your BatchDialer account, you can go in and make sure you have your settings set to go. This is going to be where you can integrate your PropStream account. And once you do that, that'll give you the API key you'll be needing to integrate it to your PropStream account, which you'll do in your account settings. And as you see here, we have a section for integrations. You'll do that here with BatchDialer, and you can even view that API key or remove it if ever you need to. Next, here you'll also be able to utilize the new campaign button at the top of your list. This is going to be where you can quickly start those marketing tools that we offer here at PropStream, whether it be the dialer, our postcards, or emails, which you'll be able to see in just a few. But here, this is where you can have that kind of shortcut to those particular marketing campaigns. In just a moment, I'll go over that skip trace button that we see here, not to worry. But lastly, I did want to also talk about the automate list button right here. Here, you're going to be able to access that Lead Automator where you're going to have the software do work for you. You're not going to have to go in and manually check out your updates, check out your property lists, and manually update those. Here with this automate list button, you're going to have the Lead Automator do that for you. So here is just the two preferences that you'll be able to click out about whenever there's new properties that fit the criteria of your list. You'll choose what you want the software to do for you, whether it's ignore, add to this list, add to another list, or that you do want to do it yourself, which I'll come back to in just a bit, because even with that option, folks, the software is still looking out for you. You're going to be able to have assistance from it in just a bit. I'll show you an example. And then same thing goes for property changes. You can choose what the software will do for any properties that no longer fit the criteria of your search for this marketing list. Here you'll choose your preference of what you want the software to do. And once you do that, folks, for both preferences here, you're going to be able to get email updates, which we highly recommend signing up for. Here you can choose the different time intervals you want to be updated at, whether it's never, immediately, daily, or weekly. So once you choose your preferences, you can click save, and you'll find your particular list that you save as an automated list here in the automated list section. You can open it up and be able to see any of those changes here in this section. Remember when I said that if you ever do, I'll do it myself as your preference, the Lead Automator is still going to help you out. And you can see that here in the top left-hand corner in these two boxes, it's letting you know, hey, even though you said you do it by yourself, I'm checking this market out, I'm checking your search criteria. There should be 16 new properties that fit this criteria for you. And there's also 41 properties that no longer fit this criteria. So you can go ahead and click on those and be able to just upload that and update it with a few clicks. So you check mark the properties you want to add, you click add selected records, you let it know what automated list you want to add these in, and then you can click save. And the same goes for any removals. If you want to go update them without having to manually do it by yourself, you can check out the removals here and then update it. So then you'll have your list updated with the help of that Lead Automator. You'll be able to have it as an add-on if you're on the Essentials plan. And it doesn't just stop there, folks. It helps you more than just automate your lead list. It's going to be able to showcase these summary boxes here at the top of every marketing list you have in your My Properties page. So you'll be able to list stack essentially. You can go and click on the particular filter you want to go check out. You can even edit them with this pencil icon at the top and be able to list stack even further if you want to. Just make sure to click apply so you can have those changes, or you can hit reset if you ever want to change it back to that individual filter it previously had. And to top it all off, with your Lead Automator, folks, not only are you going to get the automation of your lead list and also these awesome summary boxes, but you're also going to be getting free skip tracing on top of that, as well as discounts on your postcards as little as 48 cents each. And to top it all off, you're going to have that click to dial feature that we were just talking about, right? Where you can just click on any particular phone number that you see and you can call right ahead. You'll be able to call out 150 times a day in your PropStream account with that click to dial feature. So definitely take advantage of that if you have the Lead Automator in your account. And then here as well, folks, like I was saying with the skip tracing feature, you are able to do that in multiple locations here in the PropStream software. So the first one we saw was that you can do it as soon as you save a marketing list, right? Once you're in the list itself in the My Properties tab, you can actually skip trace here. So if you notice, we have an orange button labeled skip trace. That's going to be where you can enact the skip tracing process. So if you ever want to specifically skip trace a certain property, you can check mark the property here on the left-hand side of the address. Or if you want to do a bulk select and you just want to do the whole list, you can do that here with the lonesome square at the top left-hand corner of the list. And then click on skip trace. This is where that pop-up will appear and you'll be able to name the list as well as see the order details. If you notice, folks, it's also going to showcase how much it's going to end up being. And here it's letting me know that, hey, Ari, you're good to go. It's completely free. I'm sure you're thinking, well, Ari, how'd you do that? What are these free skip trace credits? That's because I'm on the Elite plan. And with PropStream subscriptions, there's 3 different types. We have our Pro and Elite plans. That's going to be the ones that include the Lead Automator that I was talking about. That has the benefit of free skip tracing. So if you are on our Essentials plan, which is the basic plan, that is going to be where you're still able to access the skip trace feature, but it will cost 10 cents per contact that is returned with contact information. So even if you're on the Essentials plan, you still have a very competitive price for that skip trace, and you also only pay for the data and not just the process itself. But for those who do want to utilize the skip tracing feature and you find that it's very important for your workflow, then we highly recommend checking out either the different subscriptions that you can upgrade to, or if you want to stay on that Essentials plan, definitely go into your account settings and check out the Lead Automator section. You'll find more info about that feature there. And we do offer a 2-week free trial for anyone who's interested in checking it out, seeing the benefits to it, such as the free skip tracing. So once you name your list and you place your order, as you can see here, folks, you'll be able to see the contact information in the spreadsheet of your lead list. So you're going to be able to see any different phone numbers, right? Such as mobile, landline, other, and any emails that the skip trace was able to find. And then once you skip trace those contacts, folks, and you have that contact information available to you in your property list and even in your contacts tab, this is where that click to dial feature is really going to shine. Because if you click on any particular number that you want to reach out to, that's going to start a ready to call pop-up where you can have their name, their phone number. You'll be able to check your microphone and Wi-Fi settings. So that way we can ensure that you have the best quality call whenever you connect with them. So then you can click call now, and then right then and there, you'll be able to make that call to that homeowner and land a phone call with them, be able to take notes, and hey, who knows, land a deal too, right? But in order to be able to utilize that click to dial feature, you will want to make sure that you have 2 things available. One being that Lead Automator that gives you that benefit of click to dial, right? As well as being able to go to your account and making sure your call settings are good to go. Here, you'll be able to choose phone numbers. You'll get 3 of them, and you can replace them every 7 days. You'll be able to replace the particular state you want to have those phone numbers in, as well as the area code. So once you choose those 2 options, you'll get your new numbers and you can change them every 7 days, right? Once you click confirm, you'll be able to have those new numbers available to you, and you'll be able to utilize them for that click to dial feature. And what's great about this is that, again, going back to, for example, exporting, you're able to have all this information together. But let's say perhaps by chance that you only want to export out contact information of the property owners, you can do so here in the third tab of the navigation bar. If you click on contacts, that's going to take you to your contact section. Kind of think of this as like a phone book here in your software account. You'll be able to see the group section where it hosts all your contacts or any imported contact lists that you have in your account, which, by the way, folks, you can import a list here in the top right-hand corner of your contacts tab. Just make sure to follow the template that is included, and that way you can import that in. And then following that is the skip tracing section, where you're going to be able to see the contact information of your leads, and along with the property address and mailing address. That way, again, if you want to just export out or share this information with your team, your partner, etc., you can have that be exported out by checkmarking those who you want to share, or do a bulk select at the top and then click on that export button here in the top right-hand corner. But here, while we're on the case of skip tracing and contact information, what I really want to highlight with our skip tracing feature, folks, is if you notice here, we do have DNC scrubbing, and it does come included with the feature. So you're not paying extra for it. It does come included here with the DNC scrubbing. We also have known litigator warnings. So you'll be able to see that in that particular contact profile. And also, if you notice here, we do have corporate skip tracing. So it's not just for individual homeowners. You can also skip trace any public entities such as trusts, LLCs, banks, etc. So you're more than welcome to skip trace a list of public homeowners as well as any private entities too. And if you ever want to reach out to these homeowners, if you notice, the phone numbers are in a list, and it's not just any random list. There is reasoning behind why this number was set first and this number was set last. And that's because we do contact priority. That means, folks, is that we have these numbers sorted out of being the most recently tethered to the least recently tethered. And that way you can go down this line, reach out to them, and be able to get in contact with them faster by being able to reach out on those phone numbers that are most recently tethered to that homeowner. And so once you've decided where you want to utilize this list, whether you want to export it out, you want to keep it in-house, if you decide to go the in-house method and you want to start your outbound marketing, you can do that here as well with PropStream. You'll want to go to the navigation bar another time, and you're going to go to the fourth tab labeled campaigns. I like to say this is where the marketing magic occurs, because we do have 4 different marketing tools that you can utilize. So here, you're going to want to start a new campaign, enter that name you want to name it, and then you can choose the leads that you want to reach out to. You can choose from your favorites, your marketing lists, or even your skip trace lists, which we recommend if you want to utilize the email campaigns and the dialer campaign. So once you choose that list, you can either edit the particular recipients you want to choose in that list, or you can even add more leads. Once you decide on the name, your target leads, you can then click save up here at the top. And then just as a quick example, you're going to see something similar to this. You're going to see your campaign dashboard. This is where you're going to be able to see any information about your campaigns, whether it's about total leads or the postcards or leads contacted. Just to give you a breakdown about our different tools, we do have our free landing page. This is going to be at the top right-hand corner of your campaign dashboard. It'll look a little different. It'll say set up website if you haven't yet. And once you click on that, you're going to be able to edit this landing page with your own photos, your own logo, and text. So you can put in information about yourself, your business, how you can help these owners with their homes, right? Whether you're in an acquisition phase or maybe even if you're in a disposition phase, you can change the landing page up to fit your needs as well as the viewer's needs too. And the cherry on top for this, for me, is that we do have a contact form that you can go and receive forms from any visitors if they fill that out. So let me show you a preview real quick of my particular landing page. So here you can check out a preview of your landing page, see what it looks like to the viewer. And as I said, you're gonna also have that contact form available for them. So that way, if they read your landing page, they check out your info, they're interested in getting in contact with you, the lead can go in and fill this form out, press send, and then you'll receive that contact form via PropStream in your email. So definitely don't sleep on this particular tool. Even though it's just a landing page, it can be a very powerful, incredibly budget friendly tool to use for your marketing for your business. And so once you're done with that, you can click on save. That'll take you to your campaign dashboard once again. And with our 3 other tools, the next one is our email campaigns. These are going to be a la carte, but again, very budget friendly. They're only 2 cents per email that's delivered. So as you see here, you can edit them similarly to the landing page, right? You're going to work with your logos, your images that you want to put in to the email, and you can see those changes in real time. And with the text, you can also change that to different fonts, different formats, and color. That way you can make it more personalized and more brand aligned to your company or your business. And so once you're done with that, again, hit save. You can then go back to your campaign dashboard and utilize our 2 other tools, right? We do have a postcard marketing tool. You do have the ability to choose from over dozens of templates that we offer here at PropStream, but it's not a necessity. You can start with a blank postcard, whatever is easiest for you. And once you start, I recommend going in with the advanced edit. And you can do that for both the front side and back side. And this is where you're going to be able to really go in and change the scenery of the postcard. You're going to be able to edit those pictures, edit those text boxes, and even rearrange them, right? So it's a really great way to make it as customizable as possible. And with the postcards too, folks, they are a la carte as well, but depending on the bundle size and the postcard size itself, they can be as low as 48 cents each. And just like with our emails, there's no minimum requirement. So if you want to go ahead and just send out 1 email a day, 1 postcard a day, then that's fine by us. Totally up to you. Because here with the marketing tools, there are no minimums. And then last but not least, we have our dialer campaign. I would say this is a fan favorite because here, as we previously talked about with the click to dial, right? That's a benefit of the Lead Automator. This dialer campaign is also a benefit of the Lead Automator. So you're going to be able to go in, check out those leads, see those phone numbers that you skip traced before, right? And here you're going to be able to check out all of the leads that you have for the campaign. So you can click on next up here in the upper right hand corner, and even previous if you want to go back to a particular lead. And here, just like how I was in the contacts tab, right? And in your marketing list, you do have that contact priority for your phone numbers. So you're going to be able to have the most likelihood of success to contact them and get in contact with them, right? Be able to start those conversations, keep up with the rapport, and see something a little familiar? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, we have our property status, tags, and notes here for you for your convenience. Because again, we want to make sure that you have everything you need while you're talking to these homeowners, right? That way, if you need to change or update any of the following or add any notes, you can do that while you're on the call. And to make life easier, once again, we did make sure that you have this property card right here just to have the basic characteristics of the property, but with our familiar little button right here with details or even just clicking on the address, that's going to open up the property details page for you. And just like that, right? You're on a call with a homeowner, they have questions, or maybe you have questions and you want to know what's going on with their situation, the property situation. Well, you can always go in and aid your conversation with the subject property data right in front of you. So, this is a really great tool to utilize here, especially if you focus or are interested in cold calling. This is a really great way to have that property data in front of you and be able to stay updated regarding that lead. And on top of that, you can also check out when it was last updated. You can also add team members in so that way they can help you for the cold calling, right? And you can also check out campaign details. So this is going to be a list of the leads. You can see the address, their names, and phone numbers. And you can also check out when and how many times you contacted them. And then here at the top, you're going to be able to see a progress report or progress percentage. It's going to showcase how many leads have you contacted and how close you are to reaching 100% of them. So it's always a great way to utilize the dialer campaign if you're hosting small volume calling for cold calls. Again, this is using the click to dial feature. So it does have up to 150 calls a day. Whereas if you want to do higher volume calling, that's where you would utilize the push to batch dialer feature that we were talking about when we were looking through the marketing lists. And speaking about that, we'll get to that soon. But here, just to reiterate, with the campaigns tab in our navigation bar, that's where you can go in and start a campaign. And with that marketing campaign, you have access to up to 4 different marketing tools, which is going to be the free landing page, emails that are only 2 cents each when delivered, and you have the postcards, which can be as cheap as 48 cents each with the Lead Automator, and as low as 58 cents each still without the Lead Automator. And then lastly, we have the click to dial feature that helps you with the dialer campaigns, which again, that's a benefit of the Lead Automator. So if you're on that pro or elite plan, that does come with your subscription. If you're on that basic essentials plan, make sure to check out the Lead Automator. And for only $27 more a month, you can get the in-house dialer as well as those other benefits that we talked about. But like I said, I want to showcase the BatchDialer software. I know it's technically external, right? But we do have an API integration that you can utilize for that push to batch dialer feature, right? And that way you can make more high volume calls in a day and also be able to use different dialers. So if you click on the batch dialer tab, this is actually going to take you to the BatchDialer website. So if you see here with the BatchDialer website, you as a PropStream user are going to get a really awesome introductory setup because you're going to not only get a free 7-day trial, but you're also going to get 20% off your subscription for life. So I'm not talking about, a one-time thing, a one-time discount. No, my friends, this is for life. So as long as you keep that subscription, you'll have 20% off. And on top of that, you do get free live onboarding. So these are, live onboarding sessions that you're able to ask any questions, and you're going to have a highly trained individual leading those onboarding sessions for you. And so once you've established your BatchDialer account, you're going to have your workflow be more seamless with the integration of BatchDialer in PropStream. And that's where the push to BatchDialer comes into play. Because in BatchDialer, you're more than welcome to do that higher volume calling, being able to have the ability to utilize it for your team, for your workflow, right? But what we do highly recommend is that if you're wanting to use PropStream and BatchDialer together, definitely just make sure that you skip trace your leads before you push them out with that push to BatchDialer feature. So I'm going to to showcase a quick workflow example of that. So let me go back to my PropStream account here with this example. Let's say I'm ready to have this list sent to my BatchDialer account because I want to make more than 150 outbound calls a day. I've decided to sign up with BatchDialer to get that external dialer that's going to help me scale and help me have that higher volume calling, right? But with PropStream, I want to have the property data. I want to be able to use it for skip tracing and through that property analysis and other market tools, right? So what you'll have to do is just make sure you skip trace beforehand. That way you can utilize this and send it to a campaign you create in your BatchDialer account. So when you have your BatchDialer account good to go, you set up a campaign. Here, you can go back to the marketing list, choose the one you want to send out to your BatchDialer account, and then you can either check mark the particular properties you want to send out or bulk select for the whole list. Then we're going to click on actions and then push to BatchDialer. This is where you're going to have that API integration work for you and make you not have to constantly export out your lists and upload them manually to BatchDialer. Instead, you're using this integration that you did to be able to select your campaign, choose the phone numbers you want to send out, and the phone numbers per record to push. So when it says per record to push, it's just talking about in terms of per contact, per homeowner. Because the skip tracing gets you up to 12 phone numbers for a homeowner. You can go up to 12, but we do recommend choosing 3 because that's going to be the top 3 that have the highest contact priority, right? And then lastly, you can also choose to include the phone status. So with our skip tracing, we do include that public DNC, right? And with the skip tracing as well, you do have the ability to put in your own DNC tags. So you can specify which ones you want to have remaining on those phone numbers, but they're not necessary. And once you decide your preferences, you can click save. And then once you click save, that's going to send these leads over to your BatchDialer account. That's going to be where you can find them in your campaign that you sent them to. And then from there, you can get your campaign ready and start calling. So that way, it's a more seamless method for you to be able to go in, get access to those leads, and also be able to scale your calling. That is one of the ways that you can go in and utilize your PropStream account with your BatchDialer account. So don't forget, it's going to be under actions with push to BatchDialer. And you're definitely going to want to integrate your BatchDialer account first in your account settings. That'll be located at the bottom of your account settings with integrations. And we do have resource videos that do showcase how to integrate that into your account. And while we're here, folks, I just want to showcase the layout of the settings tab, because here you're going to want to make sure you're familiar with this. This is going to be where you can edit your profile. This is your subscription profile settings itself. So, your first and last name, your own phone number, your personal address, whatever needs to be regarding your PropStream account, definitely edit that here with your profile card here. Next to it, you're going to see your plan card. So this is going to showcase the particular subscription plan you're on, if you're on monthly or yearly, and then how many saves and exports you have on the monthly occasion. If you ever want to manage your plan, click on Manage Plan here, and that's going to give you the ability to either upgrade or downgrade, and you'll just choose the plan you want to continue. And once you do that, you'll be able to return your account and see the change being made once that payment is processed, if need be. And then following right below that, it's going to be your usage card. Here, you're going to be able to see when your monthly subscription resets, on what day and how many days remaining you have, as well as how many saves and exports you're remaining. Remember, these are in terms of individual properties that you save into your account or export out of your account. So searching, I get a lot of questions about this. Searching is unlimited. Search to your heart's content. It's just in regards to exports and imports. That's individual properties you save and export out. And then with the free skip tracing, it does depend on your subscription. So because I'm on the elite plan, I have 100K a month for my leads. Here I can skip trace up to 100K leads a month. And then that's followed by the Lead Automator card. I know we talked about this in terms of the benefits of Lead Automator and how if you haven't tried Lead Automator, you are going to have a banner here that's going to say start your 2-week free trial. Because I have Lead Automator on my account with the subscription, the elite plan, it is showcasing that it's included with my plan. It monitors up to 120K properties. And here it's just letting me know how many more properties I can have it monitor in the month. And then following that, we have our team card. So for any one of you that might be having a team member, whether it's like an assistant or a partner, whatever the case may be, if you want to have a member or members on your account, you can add them here with the button create your team today. And so you'll just put in their information, and that way you'll be able to add them on as a team member. And that way they can access the PropStream software, be able to search and help you with marketing, the property analysis, whatever the case may be. And depending on your subscription, if you're on that pro plan, it does come with 2 team members included, whereas the elite plan comes with 9 team members included. So definitely check that out in terms of your preferences and what fits your needs the best. And then here, I know we discussed this a bit, but with the call settings card, this is where you're going to go in and set up your click to dial, right? So here you're going to be able to choose every 7 days if you want to replace your phone numbers. And here you're going to be able to choose what particular state you want to be in next for your area code, and then choose the area code of your interest. It'll showcase those old numbers turning into those new numbers. And then just a reminder, right, that you can change these every 7 days. And then once you hit confirm, that's going to change those. And what's great is that you can also have a call forwarding number. So you can put any phone number you'd like in there, right? Whether it's your business number or your office number, whatever the case may be, just make sure to click on set up call forwarding. And that way you can put in that call forwarding number. And then here we have the integration card regarding BatchDialer. If you ever need to view your API key or if you want to remove it, you're more than welcome to here. Whereas up here at the top under profile, you're going to have marketing profile. And this is different than the regular profile you just saw, because this, as it says here, it's going to be used for your marketing campaigns. We highly recommend that you set this up first before starting any marketing campaigns, because this is going to help the system fill in any information that it might need without you having to do it over and over again manually, such as your business name or your first and last name. Even if you have like a website, an email that you want to put in, or a reply to email, here you can also add in the email friendly from for any email marketing campaigns, right? As well as your work or marketing phone number. Typically it's your business number, office number, whatever the case may be. And then even your business address. So for any postcards, you can have that ready to go, and that way it can be sent out. And since return to sender addresses are required, again, just make sure you have the marketing profile set up and everything looks correct. That way you're good to go for your marketing. And so now that you're familiar with what's going on in your account settings, I also just want to finish up explaining what's going on in the navigation bar, what other tools or references you have. So after your account tab, you have an easy one. We have our log out tab. But after that, if you notice, there's a bit of blank space. But at the bottom left, you do have this help button. That's going to help you have the ability to go to our resources page. So if you need any visual references, we have a video library. This is really great. Our users love it. This is going to be where you can find short how-to videos, and you can search them based on the topic you're looking for. And then we do have a support team, folks. So with these other particular resources, whether it's, email, calling, or even live chatting in, you are going to be assisted by a highly trained individual. We don't believe in bots here, so you're always going to be met with a friendly voice or a friendly message, right? Whether it's in your emails or live chat or in that phone call. And then also we have our webinars. We do have those Monday through Friday. They are live, and we do have a Q&A section. So that way, if you have any questions about the software or any features in it, you're more than welcome to put those in the chat. And that way our webinar hosts can review them and answer them for you. And regarding the daily webinars, you're actually going to be able to find those in the PropStream Academy. So for anyone who wants to further their education in real estate or just in PropStream in general, you can go to our academy. And what's really great about the academy is that not only are you getting the ability to have access to our webinars, but like I was saying, because we have our academy, we do offer free real estate courses. So again, if you want to continue with your ever expanding knowledge about real estate or, a particular profession in real estate, you're more than welcome to check out our courses here. Just make sure to sign up or register in the top right-hand corner. You don't even need to be a PropStream user at the time. It's free to join. And once you do, you'll have access to those courses I was talking about, right? Like for any investors, flippers, even agents, whatever the case may be. And we even have Spanish courses, and we're building that portfolio as we go along this year and in the future. And then here with the webinars, we do have specialized webinars throughout the year. So we do keep these recordings here for y'all to replay and, learn along the way throughout the year whenever it's convenient for you. And that also includes our daily webinars. We do have these replays available for y'all because we understand not everyone can make it every day at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So we make sure that we have our replays here for y'all. That way you can watch it whenever it's convenient for you. And that's the lay of the land, folks. I really hope that you're able to utilize this new knowledge of the PropStream software for your own real estate needs. We also hope that we get to see you in our webinars and events. So until next time, this is Ari from PropStream. Take care, y'all.